Hi, and welcome to another episode of Pennsylvania Voter Information Network. I am your host, Larry DeMarco, and today we are here with Ron Graham, candidate for the Pennsylvania State House Legislature, seat 155. Ron, thank you for being a guest on Pennsylvania Voter Information Network.
Larry, thank you very much for inviting me to be a guest. I appreciate the opportunity.
Ron, tell us about your background, please.
Well, starting with my education, Larry, I have a bachelor's degree from Edison State University in New Jersey. I have a master's degree in environmental studies from the University of Pennsylvania. And of course, I have a law degree from Widener University, Delaware Law School.
Ron, you've been Township Supervisor in Chester County from '08 and Board Chair since '09. Tell us a little bit about that and what goes into being a good Township Supervisor.
Well, let me tell you first about how that came about. My last child, my last daughter, youngest, went to college. And I was sitting in the house with my wife, listening to the clock tick. And a then supervisor came to visit me and said, "You're a super Democrat. Would you mind running for that job?" I agreed and got elected. Been elected 3 times since, and I still enjoy the job. Part of what we found in our township was that the main functions are to provide services for people. I often hear folks say, government should be run more like a business. Let me tell you what's wrong with that philosophy. Government is there to provide services for the people. Business is there to make profits for the stockholders. Those two are not the same objectives.
Ron, also tell us a little bit about your law practice. You practice law. What do you do?
I do. I'm a trial lawyer to differentiate myself from somebody who's a transactional lawyer. In other words, I litigate cases, I try cases, I arbitrate cases. I'm in the courtroom. That's essentially what I do for a living. We always represent people. We don't represent big corporations.
Now going back to your work as a township supervisor, I understand open space is very important to you. Share your work fighting for green open areas in Chester County.
Well, in our township, since I've been there, we've protected more than 200 acres of open space. That's permanently. We're going to protect another 100 acres before this year is out. It's at the present time, 23% of our township is protected open space, protected for all times. And included in that is 46 acres along the French Creek. In East Pikeland Township, we have 2 miles of French Creek that flows through our township. And all but about 300 feet of that is now protected open space, accompanied by trails. People can walk along that creek and enjoy it. And believe me, they do.
Ron, what have you been doing as past president of Green Valley Watershed Association?
Well, I was president of Green Valleys in, I guess now it was 1998. And at that time, we inherited a 200-acre tract with a mansion house and made that be our home. And the purpose of the Green Valleys Association is to protect 5 streams in northern Chester County, most of which flow right through East Pikeland Township. So there's great synergy between the township and that organization, which I'm still a very active member in.
In your hometown, I understand you're a several generation legacy. Share that with our viewers.
Yes, I have been there. In fact, my family was there farming before there was an East Pikeland Township. So I'm deeply rooted in that township, in that community. There are very few of the old families that I don't know, and in fact, very few I'm not related to.
Ron, how is that important to connect with the community as a supervisor and going to Harrisburg?
I think it's very important. East Pikeland Township is one of 8 municipalities that's part of the district that I'm running for. I know this particular municipality extremely well. I also know the adjoining towns as well. The importance of that is that I understand the heritage, I understand the problems, I understand the strengths, and I'm there and prepared to attend to the future needs of that district.
You are also a retired colonel. What does that bring in terms of leadership?
Larry, I joined the service. I didn't have bone spurs, by the way. I joined the service as a private E1. That's the lowest rank for those of you who are not familiar with that. And when I retired, I was a colonel. Along the way, I learned a lot about how to take instructions. We used to call them orders, how to give instructions, which are orders. And I also learned some technical skills while I was there. I was an Army pilot. In fact, I'm a retired Master Army aviator. That means I have a few thousand hours in the cockpit. Once again, discipline, working as a team. Also, frankly, learning how to overcome fear.
When you get to Harrisburg, what 3 issues are you most passionate about? What do you want to get done there?
Well, let me say that there are many issues that are vitally important, not just to the district, because we have to look at a broader view of the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But many of those issues can be addressed if we do one single thing, and that is tax the frackers. You know, we have people in there fracking, hydraulic fracking, natural gas out of Pennsylvania. And when they came to town to do that, they said there will be jobs, there will be profits, there will be money, their environment will not be harmed by that process. None of that's true, except for the fact there were jobs for Texans who came here to do the fracking. There was money made by the gas company and taken out of Pennsylvania. And now we have this pipeline issue. In fact, 2 pipelines that run through the district, Mariner 2 and Adelphia. Both of those are really, at the best, they're economically unsound. And at the worst, they're a tragedy happening right in front of us. Now, how do you solve that, in my opinion? Well, in part, we've taxed those frackers. That's not happening now. Gas leaves Pennsylvania. There's no tax on it. Pennsylvanians get absolutely no benefit. If we tax them, tax the frackers, we can use that money to pay, for example, for education, for the kinds of things that we need specifically in education, like safety and security in the classroom.
Incidentally, that's one of your second things that you really feel passionately about, isn't it, Ron?
Safety in the classroom?
And education.
Oh, yeah, education, of course. Yeah, in fact, just the other night, I was on a panel at the Phoenixville School District where I was asked to comment on exactly that, classroom safety. What would we as candidates do for classroom safety for the kids? And you know what? It was put on by high school students. They crafted the questions, they invited the candidates, and they ran that program. And I, different from the other candidates, was able to tell them not what I would do, not what I thought should be done, but what I'm actually doing now. Because as township supervisor, I am personally responsible for the activities of our police department. And our police department is one of the 3 that's responsible for protecting the Phoenixville School District. And our police department, as well as the other 2 municipality police departments, are trained to act in a way that's different than the way you've seen them act in Florida, for example. No matter which of those police officers arrives first, they will go into the building instantly. They will not wait for backup. They will enter the building, locate the situation, evaluate the situation, and neutralize the situation. And that's what I'm doing now. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And with more money from the frackers, we can do that job even better.
Ron, do you have a 3rd issue that you feel passionately about?
Well, there are probably 33 more, but as you work your way down the list, redistricting is very important. You know, that's an issue that's come to the fore recently. Fortunately, our state Supreme Court has addressed that in a very meaningful way. But in the end, the state legislature will be the body that fashions the new districts. And I think we need people who believe that everyone should have a vote, that the people should choose their elected officials. The elected officials should not choose who's going to vote for them.
And Ron, what are some of the negative effects, even here in Pennsylvania, that comes from this gerrymandering, which causes what they say are really safe jurisdictions?
Well, when they say they're safe jurisdictions, who are they safe for? They're certainly not safe for the voter. What they're safe for is the party in power. And from the standpoint of establishing districts, first off, that happens every 10 years. So if a particular party is in power for 20 or 30 years, which has been the case in Pennsylvania, you get one party who has put themselves in a position where they can't possibly lose these seats. So anyone of a different view can't possibly be elected. And that becomes very corrosive to the democratic process.
Ron, why do you want to be a state representative?
Well, to play a role in all of the things I've just talked about, to be one of those people who wants a reasonable and fair redistricting arrangement, to get money into the things that we think are important, into our schools, into education. I'd like to be in a position to do there what I've done in East Pikeland. In East Pikeland, we've reduced our real estate tax 2 years ago by 25%. That lifts a terrible burden off of people, especially older people, but all people who own real estate. And we can do that at the state level, and we can use the money from the frackers. Larry, I hate to keep coming back to those people, but that's where the pot of gold is.
It's a big issue.
Yes, and there we can fund the schools better, and we can reduce, possibly eliminate real estate tax.
Why should people vote for you?
I frankly have only one interest, and that is, at this stage of my life, to do more public service in a different way. I have been a public servant for 10 years at the township level. I served my country in the military. Serving the people, serving the country is not foreign to me, and I want that opportunity as a representative here in Pennsylvania.
Ron, we'll leave it there, and I want to thank you for being a guest on Pennsylvania Voter Information Network.
Larry, thank you very much.
We have been here with Ron Graham, and I am your host, Larry DeMarco. If you like this video, forward it to all the people on your contact lists and Facebook friends. We are signing off. Tune in next time. Bye for now.